All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday game day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all. Game day, LSU, Mississippi State. Conference play opening up today. Let's get it. Tigers and the Bulldogs. Some things are just a birthright, and one of them is, if you're LSU, it's owning Mississippi State. So let's go get that one today, man. Daniel Blunt, what's going on, man? LSU Sports Fanatic, what's going on? Kenyon Hudson, Randall Offrecht, home dog in the cash tonight. Pabler 15, what's going on? Be Kind, Dalton Pichon, what's going on? Business. Trav 504, Roger Dodger. All right. Appreciate everybody for jumping aboard here this Saturday morning. Hope it's an awesome day for you. Jeremy Fontenot, Dane Bergeron, Jeremy Wheeler. So I don't know how y'all feel about it, man. Evan Kirkwood, what's up? I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I think it's a great opportunity for LSU tonight to kind of continue to show their progress. I loved listening to Brian Kelly on Thursday say, look, Baskerville is going to play a ton, which is something, we've talked about really all week. I'm an idiot, and if I can see that, then, clearly the LSU coaching staff knows it as well, which is Micah Baskerville is perfect for this game. He had double-digit tackles against State last year, and when you need an athletic guys in the middle of the field that can run and tackle, which sounds really elementary, I get it. He's perfect for that. If you're having a throwback game like against Bama, the 9-6 game, a lot of between the tackles, physical style play. I'm not saying he's not physical, but as an undersized backer. That's I get why maybe you'd want a bigger thumper as a linebacker, but in this game, no, man, that's the guy I want. A year ago, he had 11 tackles in the game, had a pass defended, had a half tackle for loss. So, got to see Baskerville tonight. I think Baskerville has a big game. Offensively, a lot of people keep asking about John Emery. I think it's largely irrelevant. It more so is on the offensive line. I think just like the Florida State game, you're going to see Jaden Daniels be LSU's leading rusher in this one, just because of his scrambling ability. Really, my hope, the progress we've seen offensively is getting the ball to the playmakers on the outside, which they really didn't do for 3 quarters against Florida State, and kind of found their rhythm in the 4th quarter. So that's what I'd like to see early in this one, man. See if LSU can maybe go tempo, find a way to get the playmakers involved in space. If you do, and you get to the perimeter, that's LSU's advantage, right? LSU's advantage is Keyshawn Booty, Malik Neighbors, Jeray Jenkins, Jack Besh, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton. That's your advantage. It's going to be your advantage against everybody you play, because you have more of those than they have guys that can cover. So you got to get those guys involved today. So. All right, y'all. Florida State, by the way, won last night at Louisville. Their Jordan Travis, their quarterback, went out with injury. The backup ended up leading a comeback. So, pretty good game last night as well. All right, y'all, fire away. You know the drill, whatever you got. Sarah, good mornings here, and answer whatever questions y'all got. Trivia card of Joey Vincent, what's going on? Dalton, I think we play much better than we did with Florida State. I wonder if it'll be enough to keep up with State's air raid, hoping the defense has a great game. Dalton, again, I got to reiterate this because I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions about Mississippi State is people assume they see air raid and they assume it's like Oregon with Chip Kelly, where it was their blur offense. It ain't. What they do is ball control. If they want to possess the football and own time of possession and put together long drives, they just do it through the air. So, for example, last week against Arizona State, Mississippi State had the ball for 37 minutes to 23 minutes for Arizona. I know that people see all the passing and they assume it's hurry up, go score quick. That's what Tennessee does. That's what Oregon did back in the day. That's not what State does. Like, it's the biggest thing that State wants to do is just get to second and third and manageable and convert and keep drives going. They ran against Arizona. Let's see, 50 pass attempts, 24 rushing attempts, so 74 plays against Arizona. So that's, and by the way, Arizona ran 76 plays. So Arizona ran 2 more plays than Mississippi State did in the game, but State held the ball for 14 more minutes of game time than Arizona did. So it ain't you just got to get off the field on third down. I mean, you cannot let them sustain drives and keep chewing clock. I mean, that's what they want to do. I know it sounds counterintuitive because it's air raid and all that stuff, but that's not what they do. Pat Huseman, Jeff Blanchard, what's going on? I just need to see growth, see respond to coaching. Yeah, look, I mean, I think we saw that last week. I think, look, there were some obvious things. I know it was Southern, and you're going to say the opponent, but regardless of the opponent, there were things that you did well, right? I mean, you were better protecting on field goals and PATs. They put Jack Mashburn out at the left wing. Mason Taylor confirmed this week he's never been on a field goal PAT unit ever. That's an oversight by your coaches. Like, there was no reason to put that kid out there against Florida State. And it cost you. You fielded your punts cleanly. There were things that I thought you tackled better. There were things that you didn't do that you could control that I thought you did against Southern that you didn't against Florida State. So carry that forward another week, All right. Larry Garner, what's up? Pat Huseman, after watching a little Florida State Louisville, I don't know how we lost to Florida State. Yeah, Pat Huseman, you lost because you're not a good football team. I mean, that's the reality. That's what LSU fans don't want to acknowledge. Like, you're not 2019 LSU. You had back-to-back 500 seasons. You lost cornerbacks to Bama and Arkansas and brought in guys from McNeese and ULL. You know what I mean? Like, you brought in transfer offensive linemen from East Tennessee State and FIU. Your guy returning punts went to Texas San Antonio. I mean, that's the part you don't want to acknowledge. You're not good. Like, you're not a good football team. I'm not saying that you can't improve, and they will. I think Brian Kelly's going to recruit to a level to get the roster back to a championship level, but you're not that right now. And first game with a new staff and new players and new coaches and new scheme, they made a lot of mistakes and it cost them. Still almost won. But that's why. That's why you lost to Florida State. They had a third-year head coach, a veteran quarterback, a bunch of dudes who had been together, and they had a good system they executed for three quarters, got a lead, and LSU couldn't overcome it. Came close, but Gregory Gordy, any updates on special teams, how they practiced this week? Special teams were great last week, too. Yeah, Brian Kelly said that Gregory Clayton's going to continue returning punts, as he should. I mean, you made all your PATs last week. You blocked well. Jay Bramblett boomed both of his punts, no shankopotamus. You blocked a punt. You forced a fumble on the opening kickoff. I mean, yeah, they were great on special teams last week. Spurge, what's up? Kenyon Hudson, do you think our fans are harder on quarterback play since we finally experienced top-tier quarterback? No, I covered the teams through the decade-long wasteland of quarterback play. Fans were not easy on those guys. So, no. I mean, I think it's just fans are... That's what you do. Brett DeGrow, what's going on? Steve Blanchard, Matt, is it hard to evaluate a line in practice? Just feels like a lot of shuffling after 2 games that wasn't seen in fall camp. Yeah, I mean, Steve, you never know how you're going to simulate a game situation. But the tricky part is they tried Garrett Dellinger at center. I mean, that's basically you have to start with 2, right? You have to start with your left tackle and your center. Those are the two most important positions. You have to establish those and then fill in around. So they were kind of committed to getting their best 5 on the field, and that didn't include Charles Turner. So they tried Dellinger at center. Well, that was just a really big ask for Dellinger. Turner is a center. Charles Turner is a center. He's just undersized and maybe not a real physical player, but he can handle the snaps and he can handle all the calls, and he's a smart player. I mean, it's similar to what you had with Liam Shanahan, you know. So once you move Dellinger to guard, well, now you've set off a domino effect, right? But yeah, a big part of it is their learning. Like, think about Emory Jones, y'all. I think Emory Jones is going to start today. I think Emory Jones is going to start at right tackle today. And so your 2 starting tackles, if that happens, your 2 starting tackles are going to be true freshmen. You know, but think about that. Like, you didn't have Emory Jones in the spring. He came on campus in June for workouts, and you saw him in pads for the first time in fall camp in August. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, you're still learning a lot of these guys. Dustin Fontenot. Matt, living in Columbia. I'm super pumped. LSU baseball is playing here next year. Currently on my way to watch Georgia Mangala and Bears, the Cox in live action. Cliff Nelson, good morning, Team Drew. Got an extra ticket for today's game, 50-yard line, row 13 behind the LSU bench. Y'all holler at Cliff if you want it, if interested. Look at my guy, slinging 50-yard line seats. Gregory Gordy, what's the odds LSU plays Florida State in a bowl game for a rematch? The SEC ACC tie would be the Duke's Mayo Bowl, but they're not going to send LSU to Charlotte. That's the former Belk Bowl, former Meineke Car Care Bowl. Yeah, they're not. So I don't think so. Yeah, no. I don't see how that would happen. That it would take a really weird set of circumstances with like bowl tie-ins happening differently. I don't see. Yeah, I don't think so. Brad David, did Ed just give up during his last year? It seems the roster was really in disarray. Yeah, I mean, he was a disaster at maintaining the roster. That's a big part of the reason he's gone. But then, you know, you had a lot of guys transfer as a result of everything. I mean, you know, what if Max Johnson was your starting quarterback? What if your corners were Elias Ricks and Dwight McGlothern? You know what I mean? Like, you had a lot invested in the running back from Cincinnati, who transferred to Cincinnati. Why am I blanking? Y'all know who I'm talking about. I mean, just, you know, instead of, who was that kid? Gosh dog it. From Cincinnati, who transferred to Cincinnati. Somebody help me. Post his name. Why am I blanking? Corey Kiner. Thank you, Dalton. Corey Kiner. I don't know where that went out of my brain. Just when he transferred, I purged him out of my brain. You know, what if you were rolling with Corey Kiner the first couple of games instead of, you know, I mean, Kiner played over Goodwin last year, but instead you were playing Goodwin and a walk-on, and then Noah Kane, the Penn State transfer. So, you know, just you lost guys due to transfer. You didn't maintain the roster. You bungled the tight end position. You know, in recruiting, a big part of that was, you know, Eric Gilbert transferred out. You had Jake Johnson committed, and whenever Ed, you know, whatever, all that stuff, coaching change, he flipped to A&M, and then Max went there as well. So you know what I mean. Just, it was a lot of, you had a lot of roster turnover, man. Dylan Horn, prediction of LSU offensive MVP not named Booty or Daniels tonight. I'll go Jure Jenkins. Have to be another receiver. Give me Jure. Aaron Everett, morning, Matt. Today's the day. We see what this team is made of. That's fair. I mean, you will. This is definitely measuring stick day. There's no question. I mean, This game is a virtual toss-up. With the odds makers, and you're at home, so I think State's played better through 2 weeks, but LSU is sort of, I think, one of those teams that as they play more and get more familiar with each other, they'll get exponentially better week to week to week to week, to where they will just be a completely different team by November than they are right now. So it's one of those things where if you're State, you're glad you're catching LSU early. But if you're LSU, you've had a couple of games now to improve, and you get this one at home, and State isn't a team that has a roster that's dramatically better than yours. So it's a very winnable game. Brady Bolin, good morning. Saw you at Brewbachers with the crew. Wanted to say hello. Didn't want to bother you. That's all right, Brady. Dude, always come say hello, man. I appreciate that. That was the Hudco crew, man. It was me, Terrio, Tilly, Will Stout was sitting with us, and Jordy. So we were hanging out, little marketing meeting. So, yeah, man, Brady, if you see, there's a lot of Fridays we go to that Brewbachers on Bluebonnet, around 11:30 or so. There's a lot of Fridays we go over there. It's not every Friday, but a lot of Fridays. Yeah, man, come say hello for sure. Jerry DeLucky, what's good? Jared Wrinkles, can't wait to see John Embry take the field. Jack Davis, want to see the O-line step up. Yep. They got talent, man. That's the thing. Will Campbell, Lembry Jones, Garrett Dellinger, those are talented dudes, man. They just need experience and continuity and reps. I don't know if y'all heard Ryan Clark on AFR on Thursday. There were two things. I said, what do you want to see that would be noticeably different? He said coverage and pass protection. He said, because those are two things that are predicated on communication, continuity, and reps. Like, you can get, those are things that should improve just with time and reps. And so those things should improve. Brand Roban Mortimat just reinstalled DraftKings, log back in. When placing the bet, it says error. User permissions do not allow contest entry at this time. I don't know, Brand. I mean, are you you're in Tennessee, right? I don't know. Does Tennessee have mobile betting? I really don't know if Tennessee has mobile betting. That may be your problem. Luis Salomon, what's up? Amy Burley, Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Caleb Brignac, happy this one's in Baton Rouge. Don't have to listen to those cowbells tonight. They might sneak a few in. Matt Busher, what's going on? Where can I find Ott's NFL picks? Matt, he doesn't post them. So, he does, Jimmy hosts Magnolia Bluff Football Sunday. So Sunday morning, he hosts his show where it's all handicappers on the show, and it's all for the NFL Sunday. He'll give his picks at the end of that show. So, right before, I can't remember if it's like at 11 or right at noon that he gives his picks. But yeah, I mean that, or I know Jimmy also, if you go to I know he's a Bet Rivers guy, so if you go to Bet Rivers on YouTube, Jimmy hosts a lot of their content throughout the week. You can find him. He just doesn't publish them like on Twitter or anything. Jeremy Wiley, what's going on? Worst atmosphere I've been in. Cowbell nearly gave me a mental breakdown and I almost walked away. Bill Schmid, good morning, Matt. Had the Moscona sushi roll last night. It was amazing. That's the Moscona roll over at Ichiban. Appreciate that. Yeah, they did a great job with it for sure. Blake Murnane, what's going on? Who's on your betting card today? Oh, I need to look at it. So I've got BYU in the points. I've got Notre Dame to cover against Cal. I have A&M to cover at home against Miami. Bounce back spots for both of them. I have Nebraska in the points against Oklahoma. I do think they keep that close. Big emotional game. First game after Scott Frost is fired. You see that often. I feel like I maybe have one or two more. I can't think off the top of my head. Those are a few that I'm playing today. Jeremy Wheeler, facts. We're home underdogs to unranked Mississippi State. That's where we are. Bingo. That's a good way to put it. I mean, that's perspective, right? You're a home underdog to Mississippi State for the first time in 22 years. Nick Saban's first season in Mississippi State. That Mississippi State team was, I think, 13th in the country. You know, this is an unranked Mississippi State team coming in. You're a home underdog. That's what you are. That's what you are. Jerry Fonda watching Game Day. They hate LSU. Jerry, Game Day does not hate LSU. That's stupid. Don't be a fan that thinks everybody hates my team. The bottom line is, like, your team isn't good right now. Look at the perspective of what Jeremy just posted, which is right. Like, it's okay. You're going to keep getting better, but understand again what you are, not what you were. What you were was a perennial championship contender. You are not that right now. Like, you're a team that's going to be starting cornerbacks who last year were playing at ULL and McNeese. Your punt returner was at UTSA. You got 2 offensive linemen from FIU and East Tennessee State. Like, that's what you are. You're not an elite team right now. So just keep getting better. Get these younger guys more experience. Go, like, Brian Kelly's going to get there, y'all. He's going to get there. But listen to him talk, you know? That's true, Caleb. LSU's going to get their rematch with Florida State next year. Next year in Orlando, and that game's going to go a lot different. Todd Harris, good morning. Blaine Smith, wondering if we're using 3-3-5 today. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you'll run 3-man fronts with 5 and with 6 defensive backs today. I mean, you will have nickel and dime packages today. TK Brown, Jeremy Kling, Chance Babin. Who do you give the edge in coaching? LSU. The one thing I would tell you that maybe with State is the continuity with Arnett. I mean, Leach, of course, runs the offense, but you know, with Arnett being there on defense, I think this is his 3rd year there. He's been there the whole time. Leach has been there, so you do have a little more continuity because they've been there. But just as far as skins on the wall, I mean, it's not even debatable that it's Kelly. You know, and the venue goes to LSU. Look, a 1-hour air truck just passed. Honestly, big yellow 1-hour air van just passed. See them all over. As always, shout out to Brock. Reminds me, brortho.com, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco is pinned in the comments. So would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Just tap the Hudco link. By the way, we found out this week Hudco is the first and only Louisiana-based roofing company to be a certified, fortified roofing company. You can learn more. Way oversimplifying it, but you can save up to 52% on your insurance premiums with a fortified roof. You can learn more at HudcoRoofing.com. Jeremy Wiley, Louisiana bound, 2 weeks for 2 weeks. All right, bro. Wayne Dolisi, good morning. From Orlando, Stephen Young, good morning. Kirk Taylor, hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. Stephen Dufour, good morning. Matt, what's your pick for game MVP? I'm with Emory. Yeah, Stephen, I don't think it's going to be John Emory, man. Brian Kelly has been pretty adamant that Emory, they're working him back in sort of slowly, and he hasn't played a football game in almost 2 years. So, and I hate to keep harping on this, but LSU's offensive line, not great. Mississippi State's defensive front seven, kind of a strength. So I don't think LSU's running the ball today, man. I'll tell you, I think Jaden Daniels, again, just like Florida State, I told you then, was going to be LSU's leading rusher, same today. It's going to be a thing where he breaks contain when things are breaking down and rips off a 25-yard run. Like, that's what you're going to see today from LSU's running game. I don't think you're lining it up and just handing it off to John Emory and he's going to carry it 18 times for $115. It just ain't going to be that kind of day. So my hope, Stephen, with Emory would be, because he has explosive ability, that there is the 1 or 2 plays in the game where, he makes a man miss and turns a nothing into a 20-yard gain. They throw him a screen, a running back screen, and he takes it for 40. That's my hope with Emory today, is that you see those 1 or 2 chunk plays from John Emory because he's able. Brant Robin, stick to those tackles tonight. That's huge. Kirk Taylor, keys to the V, tackle. Tackle and don't turn the ball over. If you give them extra possessions, you're screwed because LSU is not good enough to give other teams possessions, and you've got to tackle so you get off the field. Hey, Dad, good morning. La Ploche, good morning. Todd Harris, first 2 games I've seen, way too many guys trying to knock out, not wrap it up. Bro, that's just football today, Todd. I mean, I hate to tell you that, bro. That's at every level. It's just guys don't wrap up anymore because teams don't practice tackling. And I'm not like a back in my day guy, but it's just the reality is you've taken more and more contact out of practice. They don't tackle. I mean, they don't tackle in practice. They do a lot of thud, where it's you make contact and then you stop, but you don't tackle to the ground. So because you don't practice tackling when you get, and that's at half speed. When you get full speed in a game, you're just guys don't practice tackle. Oh, that's the other one, Caleb. Thank you. He said, don't sleep on UTSA at Texas. I have UTSA with the points against Texas. Texas down to their 3rd quarterback. You got so emotionally high last week for the game against Bama. You are going to have a letdown today. That is just an undeniable truth. And UTSA is a good mid-major this year. They took Houston to overtime. So solid UTSA team against Texas in a massive letdown spot. I like Texas to win and Texas with their 3rd quarterback. Texas to win, but give me UTSA with the points. Brent Dugas, good morning. Randy Smith, forgotten factors for LSU versus State. Ojulari's back with Gay. Add Perkins. You can pressure Rogers with a shaky offensive line. Switching Warden Brooks. So we've talked a lot about Warden Brooks this week, and I'm with that. I think Brooks is more comfortable at safety, and keep in mind Greg Brooks has played Arkansas now 4 times. So he's played Mike Leach twice. So, he's familiar. Greg Brooks is familiar with what he's going to see. He's played Leach the last 2 years being at Arkansas. And so is Jay Ward. Jay Ward's played Leach the last 2 years. And Leach came in as a corner. I like him in the nickel spot as a cover guy. And if Brooks is more comfortable at safety, I agree. I think that's a good switch. I agree completely. Ojulari and Gay, obviously we talked about that, just having those guys back. I'm a little leery on Perkins in this game. I think it's one of those things where athletically Harold Perkins is awesome, clearly. But it's also one of those games where the whole thing that State does is run efficiently to try to get you out of position. I think Kelly comparing it to look at Keith Gill to like the triple option is so appropriate. Like you only run 4 or 5 plays, but they're looking at what you're showing and they're trying to get in the right call to do the thing you're not prepared in that situation to do. So it's tough if you're Harold Perkins and you've never seen this offense. It's more likely you're going to be out of position. So I'm a little leery about a true freshman seeing this for the first time. That's why I want Baskerville. I mean, I want Baskerville and Mike Jones on the field today because Mike Jones in his career has been a better overhang linebacker. I mean, that's what he was at Clemson. He hasn't been real effective being a Mike. But again, on this day, Mike Jones, Micah Baskerville, I think are perfect for this opponent. Where are we? Jump back over here to YouTube. Smash that like button if you're on YouTube. Please do me a solid. Jesse Brown, Matt, it's game day. Love seeing a place like Boone, North Carolina get college game day. It's a great town. Have you ever been? Never been to Boone. No, sir. Jared Esprit, good morning. Rapid Batches. Yeah, Cliff, how about Cur Dog football, man? Bears beat U High last night. But Catholic's passing game was crazy. I was watching that game. I mean, Kid Beal, started as a freshman, so he's in his 3rd year starting as a junior right now. And then Shelton Sampson had like $160 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. They took him away in the second half, and so freaking Daniel Harden and everybody else took over. I mean, the receivers, the passing game for Catholic High is on point, dude. It's incredible. Damon Gilmore, Weston Weaver, Dustin Blanchard. Let's see, Steven, 2 years will be a New Year's 6 team. Takes time to rebuild from a disaster. Yeah, look, they'll be much better next year. By year 3, I would expect you're back in contention. Steven, let's see, Daniel Glenn, LFG, LSU needs a statement win. Hopefully House earns that check big time today. Brad David, do you think USC has a good chance of making the playoff this year? I do, Brad, because they're going to be favored in every game the rest of the way. And if a name brand like USC is undefeated, they're going to be in the playoff, regardless of the strength of the Pac-12. I mean, in a 2-team playoff, maybe it's a different story. You're back in like the BCS era, but in a 4-team playoff, you're not going to have an undefeated. You're not going to have an undefeated USC left out. Damon Gilmore, how do you think Max will do today? I think they're going to win. I understand why Jimbo went with Haynes King initially. I mean, Haynes King won the job last year. There was familiarity there, but he's been terrible. I mean, it's Max. Max was good. He threw for 2,800 yards, 27 touchdowns, 6 picks. Like, Max is a really good college football player who's seen a bunch. He is going to be better suited for what Jimbo's doing as well, throwing the football, more of a pocket guy. They're going to win. A&M's going to win and cover tonight. I mean, they're better than App State. It's the same as LSU losing to Troy or to UAB when Nick was there, like, or when LSU was down 28 to Troy and rallied. It just, it's funny as hell to watch it, but when it's not your team. But they were sleepwalking, man. They were sleepwalking and they got popped. If LSU's O-line hasn't improved greatly, it's going to be a long night. Matt Lusto, Damon Hinderberger, where can we find the 104.5 hype video, Will Stout's video? It is pinned on the 104.5 ESPN Twitter. I need to pin it on Facebook as well. Anyway, and it's also on the 104.5 ESPN Insta. So Facebook, Insta, Twitter, it's there. It's a recap from the Southern game. Mark Allen is Plucker's a chain. I was in Dallas, saw a few. Yeah, so Plucker started in Austin. So it's in Austin, Houston, Dallas, and Baton Rouge. Started in Austin. Let's see. Breeze, 9012, how close is the GameCoin platform to being finished? Really close, man. If you missed it, Breeze, go back, go to the GameCoin YouTube channel. 2 Fridays ago, we did an AMA with the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer. Went through a lot of that stuff. So if you have about 45 minutes or so, maybe you're driving, put it in your Bluetooth and listen to it. Irfan Sayad, good morning. Gregory Gordy, what's the winning percentage of LSU and Drew shows up on Morning Scone? I don't know, man. Maybe we can get him in here in a minute. Let's see. Ghastly Gamer, let's get the jingle. You know what? Ask and you shall receive. Let's see. Here we go.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone, Ontario. All you need is Hudco. Call Hudco Roofing. 364-1007.
Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco is pinned in the comments. So tap the Hudco link. Take literally 30 seconds to fill out the contact form on the homepage. We will come give you a free, no obligation roof inspection. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Jared Esprit, what's up? Palumbos on the go. LSU fan transplanted in Omaha. Surrounded by Cornhusker fans. Though our team isn't where we want it, we have reason to be optimistic. Thanks for keeping us distance fan upstate. All right, Palumbos, appreciate you being there, man. Jonathan Martin, what's up? Father John David Mathern, good morning. Central Lafourche with the GameCoin Bowl win last night over South Lafourche. That's so good. Yeah, man, after the storms, GameCoin made large, sizable donations to both Central and South Lafourche. Athletic departments kind of get them rolling again after the storm, yeah. Glad to see that, man. Wendell Norman, what's up, Matt Lusto? Stupid business idea. Go hire high school receivers and running backs to be tackling dummies for the NCAA players. Charge the school premium. Oh, former. Gotcha. Former high school, yeah. Man, how about Catholic? How about a Calicut chant, bro? Catholic looked good last night, man. Cliff went to the Catholic game. Brandon Tilly, yes, sir. Dude, Cliff, he sent a picture of someone sitting a few rows in front of him with a Hudco hat on backwards, so he could see the. So he was behind you. Took a picture, and I was like, who is that with the hat? So he didn't reply, but he posted the picture. So got it. I'll have him post it to the Cliff. I'll have him post it to the Hudco socials and tag you in it. It's got to be. I mean, that's got to be you. Let's see, Jesse. Matt, if Max Johnson was still at LSU, would Daniels still start? Jesse, if Max was still at LSU, Daniels wouldn't be here. That's the difference, right? Because if Max was still here, you'd have Max, Brennan, Nussmeier, Howard. You wouldn't have gone and got a transfer. You got a transfer because you were down to Nussmeier, Howard. Then Brennan came back, and you added Daniels. I mean, because remember, Brennan was in the portal. And Johnson left, so you were down to Nussmeier, Howard. Then Brennan came back, and you added Daniels. Howard Jr., what's going on? Dalton Burrow threw like 16 or 18 touchdowns with 6 picks in 2018, won 10 games. Why do people think we have to throw 40 touchdowns to consider a quarterback good? Good point. Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels, here's the things he's done most effectively. He's protected the football. 2 games has not turned the ball over. So he's protected the football. He has, again, for 3 quarters against Florida State, was your only offense. His ability to run was the only way you moved the ball. So his dynamic running ability has been key. And I think he's been accurate as a passer. The one criticism some of you have is that he just tucks the ball and runs too quickly. I don't blame him against Florida State. That was a disaster. So let's see how they do today. Progress. Jared, I think LSU's fine. They'll get better. But which game do you see the turnaround or the upset? Yeah, I mean, look, I think I've told you this before. I mean, if they win today, it would be an upset. Technically, they're an underdog. I think they split October. I think they go 2-2. I think maybe you win at Auburn, lose at Florida, win at home against Tennessee, lose at home against Ole Miss, or flip those. I think they go 2-2 in October. You're going to lose to Bama. I think you beat UAB, and then I think those last 2 would be a prime spot for a big win. If you're on the road and you win at Arkansas or at A&M, I think that's where you'd look and say, okay, it's November. How much has this team improved? Here's a good indicator of it. All right, few more. Blaine Berthelot, Mr. Matt, Hudco did our roof repair this week. We'll be doing new gutters next week. Thank you for the awesome customer service. How's Drew since the doctor visit on Thursday? Blaine, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for calling Hudco, man. Doctor visit went well. We had to go see the pediatric surgeon about Drew's his feeding tube. Just having a lot of issues with it. So actually, right now, this morning, we took his button out at 6 a.m. So Drew and I have been up since 6 a.m. To try to let it close and heal a little bit. So when we're done here, I'm going to go. We're changing new button and all different. Anyway, we're doing okay. Thank you for asking. Chris Andrepon, good morning. Buddy Bond, is it true Les Miles is going to Iowa SOC? No. Chance Babin, my 7-year-old, loves the Rocky Top song. If he attended the Tennessee game, he would learn to hate it by halftime. Caleb Brignac, we now have 3 pluckers in San Antonio. Okay, dude. Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning. Craig Duga, so pumped you can feel it in the air. It's almost basketball season. Boot up, boss. Gotcha, Craig. Thank you. Brian Moscona, what's up, BMO? Let's see. Kelly went undefeated. Year 3 at Notre Dame. You'll have LSU rolling by year 3. Yeah, that was 12, right? So that was the Manti Te'o year in 12, and they got pounded by Bama. Ooh. Wow. Ooh. Crazy. Caleb Brignac, Matt. My wife got me tickets to the game in Gainesville. Never been to the Swamp. What should I expect? Caleb, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. The Swamp is terrible. It's a terrible venue, and it's not a fun trip. It's listen. I'll tell. Well, let me not poo-poo it for you. It's good that you're going, and I hope LSU wins. Clearly, I mean, it's so much fun to go on the road and win. But I've been to the Swamp a few times. It is Gainesville is not a great college. Like, and this isn't just me poo-pooing another town. Like Athens is awesome. College Station is fun. Everyone is super friendly. As weird as that sounds, like they really are very friendly in College Station. Lexington, tons of space. People usually leave you alone, kind of let you do your thing. It's cool. There's a lot of great places. Gainesville just isn't one of them. It's just not. It's just Gainesville ain't great. And Florida fans are pretty wretched. So, and the Swamp, the venue itself, ain't great. It's just not a great trip. It's great because you're going to Florida, right? I mean, it's still the Swamp. It's Gators. It's all. I mean, it's LSU, Florida. I mean, so yes. I mean, I 100% endorse making the trip. I'd really suggest making the trip when they win. I went in '02. LSU, that was the year LSU absolutely, Ron Zook's first year at Florida, and LSU pounded Florida in the Swamp. That's when my guy Blaine Besh had the fake field goal. It was the holder, picked it up and ran it, whatever, 40 yards for a touchdown. Florida, it just, I hope they win, Caleb. I'll put it to you that way. David Wallace, Matthew, what's going on? Looking forward to Whiskey and Wine. Yes, by the way, let me remind you, of course, Whiskey and Wine, as soon as tonight's game goes final, LSU Mississippi State, as soon as the game ends, fire up Whiskey and Wine on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube or the 104.5 ESPN Facebook. We appreciate you. Whiskey and Wine after every LSU game as soon as the clock hits 0. If you can, come join me and T-Bob at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Should be a great night. Craig, Auburn was by far the most enjoyable SEC road trip. I had some good times at Auburn. I just haven't seen great games at Auburn. I went in '02. LSU got pounded in a drizzle. I went in '08. That was when Jarrett Lee threw the game-winning touchdown to Brandon LaFell after Andrew Hatch got hurt. I feel like it was one more when I went to Auburn. I can't remember. But Auburn's a good trip. Georgia's a great trip. We don't get to make it often. But Athens is great. The stadium's great. People are they get rowdy. I mean, Athens is good. Arkansas is the worst for me. Now, I want to, with one caveat, I have not been to Fayetteville. I've only gone when they played the game in Little Rock. And that is playing Arkansas Little Rock is, hands down, the worst in the SEC. Arkansas fans are horrible. That venue is a high school venue in the middle of a golf course. You park on the golf course. There's no lighting. There are no amenities in the stadium. It's a tiny little stadium. Like Little Rock, playing games in Little Rock is by far, not even close, the worst trip in the SEC. Now, I would like to go to Fayetteville because Northwest Arkansas, their campus is beautiful. That part of the country is beautiful. Like, I would like to go to Fayetteville to see a game. It's just always around Thanksgiving, so I've never made it up there. Let's see. Yeah, Starkville's not great, obviously. Oxford's awesome. I mean, Oxford's a great college town. Ole Miss is a great trip. I mean, I've been fortunate to go to all. I've been to Columbia. Columbia, Missouri is the only one I haven't been to. So Columbia, Missouri would be the only SEC trip I haven't made. All right. Any more? Trevor Falcon, what's good, man? Caleb, Northwest Arkansas is beautiful. Yeah, so that's the point. Caleb. Like, I've been to Little Rock, which is Central Arkansas. I have not been to Fayetteville. I would love to go to Fayetteville because everything I've heard is town's beautiful. I mean, I know Northwest Arkansas is beautiful. The campus, they got a lot of money, man. I mean, Walmart money and Tyson Chicken money and FedEx money and Jerry Jones money. I mean, it's beautiful. I would love to see that. Chris Andropont, as a football fan, I want to go to the Michigan-Ohio State game, as long as it's not snowing. Michael Cook, what's up? All right, I think we're just about done. Any more? A few more here on YouTube. Jared, I'm a truck driver. I watch daily. Our future is bright even for this year. I think we're a sleeper team. I hope it shows today. Jared, I think I guess you'd have to define sleeper, but I think you're going to see LSU continue to get better throughout the season. Like, you remember Nick Saban's first year here in 2000? Like, and I compare it because you were off back-to-back losing seasons with Donardo, and it started off, and man, it wasn't great. I mean, you lost to UAB. You got just housed in the swamp against Florida. But man, after the UAB loss, you came back and you beat Tennessee. You pulled a big upset. By the end of that season, you beat Georgia Tech in the bowl game. You got to 8 wins, and you could see the progress. And I think it's going to be comparable this year. Jonathan, does Ollie Gay have another year of eligibility? No, he'll go pro after this year. 504 Hot Boy, what time is kickoff? 5 o'clock. Spurge, what's good? Wretched. All right. Ryan Willis, last one. How much of an advantage is it for LSU playing in Tiger Stadium with State playing in Arizona? Ryan, I think it's huge, man. And actually, we talked about it yesterday in AFR with Terrio, because you got to keep in mind, Terrio, as you know, in baseball, it's maybe the most significant factor that nobody talks about is the travel, where you're flying twice a week, every week for 5 months. And people don't think about how much the travel takes out on people. But think of it this way. Mississippi State flew to Arizona, played a 10 p.m. Central kick. Game ended close to 2 Central. By the time they showered, bus, got to the airport, and got home, you're talking it was, Sunday morning in Starkville when they finally got back. You basically spent all day Sunday and then Monday trying to catch back up. Tuesday would be more like a Monday. By the time you got to Wednesday is kind of when you felt normal again. So you practice Wednesday, Thursday, then you're traveling again Friday to Baton Rouge to play a game against LSU in Baton Rouge. I think, like we were talking about, bounce back opportunity for A&M, bounce back opportunity for Notre Dame, which I think both happened today. Letdown spot for Texas. I think situationally it favors LSU today. Anyway. Okay. All right, y'all. Moved back to Baton Rouge from Auburn. I enjoyed my time there. Yeah, Auburn is beautiful. Okay, Alex, be kind. All right, y'all, we are done. We are done. If you haven't done 142 watching, only 53 likes. If you were on YouTube, take a quick second, smash that like button. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. As always, we're brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. After Hours Clinic is always open on weekends inside of the Surgical Specialty Center on Bluebonnet near Perkins in Baton Rouge, brortho.com, brortho.com. And of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Hudco link is pinned on YouTube and Facebook in the chat. So if you would, just tap the link, take 30 seconds, fill out that contact form. We'll give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Only way you know you have damage, let us inspect it, or wait till you have water on your ceiling. One option is better than the others. HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all have a great day. We'll go Tigers. We'll see you for Whiskey and Wine tonight. Peace.